President Muhammadu Buhari has since returned to Abuja after attending the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in the United Kingdom. The president departed Nigeria for the United Kingdom on the 9th of April 2018, shortly after he made a formal declaration that he will contest next year's presidential election. Prior to the Commonwealth Head of Government meeting, which held between 18th and 20th April, the president had a private meeting with the British Prime Minister Theresa May. While in the United Kingdom, several controversies also trailed his visit, as Buhari had earlier claimed he was not bothered about the forthcoming general elections. Rather, he was more worried about the security situation in the country. Speaking on some of the gains of the London trip, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity Malam Garba Shehu and the Progressive Governors Forum Chairman, Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha, says the coming days will prove to Nigerians that the President means well for the country.
The President set out on very, very important missions in the United Kingdom. You know, as we announced before his departure, that he had, for instance, engagement with the Shell. Nigerian government and the Shell had been discussing future expansion plans. The idea is the President set out to fast track, the processes. And as we have heard from the chief executive of Shell, a lot has been achieved in this direction. The president also had bilateral engagement with the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. This would otherwise have taken a state visit to achieve this kind of engagement. But he brought it together with the Commonwealth so that it will serve more than just one purpose. And of course, the Commonwealth heads of state and governments, a meeting in which he actually took part in all of the engagement. So on the overall, I would say that that the president did also engage on matters of security, and given their nature, they are matters of confidentiality. But I want to say that in the coming days, Nigerians would get to fully understand how much has been achieved.
He's back in good shape as usual, and I think we're expecting a lot of political activities in the APC. There will be a congress, there will be a convention, and I'm sure he will go home to participate in the congresses and convention. The dates have been fixed, and the convention committee will resume from Monday. And once that is resumed, the convention committee chairman and his team are expected to perform their duties to ensure a hitch-free congress and convention.
President Buhari was received on arrival at the presidential wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by his Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha, some service chiefs, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, amongst others. From Abuja, I'm Festus Ejiroga Nefifen for Ben Television.
Senator Dino Melaye, representing Kogi West in the Senate, has been arrested at the international wing of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport Monday morning on his way to Morocco for an official engagement sponsored by the federal government. After checking into the plane, he was asked to come down by the immigration officers that his attention was needed. According to his quote, "I was at the airport lounge when they called me that my attention was needed by the officials of the immigration. When I got there, they told me I'm under arrest on the request of the police," he said. End of quotation. He said the immigration official showed him an instruction on his arrest. As at the time of filing this report, Senator Dino was still at the airport in the custody of the immigration official. Senator Dino Melaye had been having a running political battle with his home state governor, Yaya Bello, over several issues. The senator has since been declared wanted by the police over an alleged gun running. Thirty-three aspirants have obtained All Progressive Congress (APC) governorship nomination and expression of interest form to contest the party ticket in Ekiti State. Former Bayelsa State Governor Timipre Silva is the head of the panel that will screen the 33 aspirants. The panel began the screening today. The screening will be end on Wednesday. The identity of the three latest entrants into the race was yet to be ascertained as at the time the report is being filed. Those who had purchased the form from Ekiti South are Senator Gbenga Aluko, Honorable Femi Bamisile, Honorable Bamidele Faparose, Dr. Wole Oluyede, Dapo Ajayi, Adeniran Adesua. Notable among the aspirants are Chief Segun Oni, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, among several others. The APC governorship primary is scheduled for the 5th of May 2018.
An election observer group, the Independent Service Delivery Monitoring Group, has faulted the failure of political parties in the country to participate in the process of cleaning up of voters' registers since 2011. Addressing newsmen in Abuja, the executive director of the group, Dr. Chima Amadi, said following an FOI inquiry to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, it was discovered that the commission have been complying with the provision of the Electoral Act and making voter register available to political parties. But none of the political parties or individuals have bothered to verify the voter register provided by the Commission since 2011.
It will shock you to know that here we saw is the response from INEC to the FOI that we served. And it will shock you to know that political parties, beyond what I would really not want to call the noise of, oh, there's the national register is not credible, there are children, there are this, that no single political party has utilized the window of opportunity to make any claims and objection on the national voters register. Not just this time, since 2011.
The group noted that they are confident that following measures being taken by the current INEC leadership, the 2019 elections will be free, fair, and credible if politicians play by the rules.
But what we want to state is that having been keen observers as individuals and as organizations of 2015 elections, we have had cause to say that we are seeing evidence to the fact that the mistakes of 2015 is being corrected in 2019. Let's take a typical example. Under the Jega INEC, we were witnesses to the Anambra election that even the chairman of INEC then, Jega, said he was embarrassed by the process and conduct of that election. Just a few months ago, the same Anambra had elections, and as we speak, no single party to that election has approached any of the tribunals to question or to have issues with the elections. So there's a marked departure to do the right thing. There's a marked, systemic approach to correct whatever anomalies that we witnessed in 2015.
In Abuja, LM Chukwuemeka reports.
Nigerian Senate President Bukola Saraki on Sunday over the weekend visited a female sergeant at arms, Mrs. Sandra Davo, who was injured by an unknown invader of the Senate chamber. Davao was injured on April 18 while trying to stop some unknown persons who invaded the Senate and cut away the maize. This is contained in a statement released by the Chief Press Secretary to the President of the Senate, Sani Onogu, in Abuja. Onogu said Saraki visited the officer in a residence. According to him, Davao, who lives in Buhari Area Council of FCT, is presently recuperating after she was treated and discharged from the hospital. Saraki was accompanied on the visit by his deputy, Ike Ekremadu, Senator Isa Ama Misao, Senator Baba Kaka Gabai. He extolled the commitment of Davao and a colleague who put up a spirited fight to prevent the invader from gaining access to the Senate chamber. Saraki also commended Ekremadu and all his colleagues who successfully took charge and safeguarded the National Assembly and the country's democracy. He said that the visit was meant to thank and show appreciation to Davao and her colleague for their hard work, commitment, and courage. Saraki was quoted as telling some journalists in an interview during the visit that he was away in Washington, D.C. on official assignment as at the time the incident occurred. He said he was briefed about all that ensued during the incident. We felt that for the sacrifice they made by putting their life at stake beyond the call of duty for our democracy, we have to come and appreciate her. I will keep on emphasizing that what really defines a democracy nation is parliament, and the moment the parliament is not there, democracy does not exist.
In response to the recent statement credited to President Muhammadu Buhari at the just concluded Commonwealth Head of Government meeting in London, United Kingdom, describing most Nigerian youth as uneducated and lazy, the Young Progressive Party (YPP) has condemned in strong terms the statement, describing it as an unfortunate remark by a president who has done little or nothing to ameliorate the plight of the Nigerian youth, who are constantly victims of mismanagement of the nation's resources. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Comrade Wale Martins, while briefing newsmen in Abuja, said Nigerian youths in their resilience have done the nation proud always.
We believe that despite the obvious challenges and harsh socio-economic environment caused by the misgovernance of our leaders, Nigerian youths remain the most productive when compared to their counterparts around the world, who have far better conducive environment to thrive and maximize their full potentials. It is an aberration for a president who in the past 3 years has done nothing to improve on this rating to be publicly berating same set of people who are only victims of his inaction. Also, the statement that a lot of our youth haven't been to school and they are claiming that Nigeria is an oil-producing country. Therefore, they should sit and do nothing and get housing, healthcare, education for free. Is hypocritical and an admission of failure from a president who only recently allocated a paltry 7.04% and 3.96% of the 2018 budget to education and health respectively.
Comrade Martins re-emphasized that it is a very sad commentary that President Muhammadu Buhari does not see anything good in the numerous talents, prospects and intellectual ingenuity of the Nigerian youth.
May we remind Mr. President that a few months back, this army of sit-and-do-nothing Nigerian youth, through their intellectual ingenuity, not only attracted the attention of Mark Zuckerberg, who is the 5th richest man in the world, but also brought him to the shores of Nigeria. And that singular visit in appreciation of what our youth are doing in the area of ICT made him invested over $100 million to help develop our rich, youthful human capital, a strategic resource that the APC government has deliberately refused to either identify or invest in. If President Muhammadu Buhari is looking for sit and do nothing, mentally lazy and unproductive people, he need not look any further, as they are all in his cabinet. Mr. President should be reminded that his intellectually lazy, myopic and unproductive economic team not too long ago led the nation in and out of recession, helped to multiply poverty, increased inflation and unemployment, and only recently presented to the nation a flawed economic recovery and growth plan, ERGP, that places less premium on human capital development, which is the future. May we, on behalf of the teeming, hard-working, resilient, vibrant, and tolerant Nigerian youth, tell Mr. President and members of the international community that his opinion is not a true reflection of the character of majority of the very hard-working youth of Nigeria, who, despite all odds, have continued to add value to the nation.
Martins, who used the medium to demand for the withdrawal of the statement made by the president with an unreserved apology, described it as an affront on the collective will of the Nigerian youth. He therefore challenged the youth in the nation to fully get involved in the 2019 general elections to elect leaders that will initiate and implement youth development-related policies for the development of the Nigerian youth.
Governorship aspirant of United Democratic Party in Taraba State, Abdulrazak Gidado, has said agriculture will be his priority if elected into office in 2019. Gidado said this in an interview that Taraba State is an agrarian state with capacity to feed the nation.
The agricultural aspect of Taraba, we are going to create an agricultural zone in Taraba because Taraba State is a mini Nigeria. If you dissect Taraba, you discover we have the thick forest, we have the Savannah region, we have the Sahel region, and we have the Mambila Plateau, where if you want to even promote cattle ranching and animal breeding, milk production, and what have you. If you come to Taraba, if you want to establish a rice farm, Taraba is the place. We will make sure we partner with private organizations, both within and outside the country, to establish a rice farm. We have yam in abundance. Our soil is fertile for yam production.
The UDP governorship aspirants call on the people of the state to take part in the ongoing INEC voter registration and obtain their permanent voters card ahead of 2019 general election. He also asked the people to vote for leaders they can trust.
Come 2019, the electorate, first and foremost, they should make sure they have their registration with INEC, they have their PVC at hand, and they should go and vote for a leader that they can trust. A leader that can be with them, wine with them, do everything with them. The leader that can give them the protection they needed. The leader that can share their resources to them, not to himself. That's what I want.
Abdulrazak Gidado, UDP governorship aspirant in Taraba State.